Hi, my name is Sheri Pearl, and I'm so excited to be here today to present this video to you. This video is devised to help you understand what you need to do to make an EVP recording. Recording EVPs has added so much joy to my life, and I hope that it will work in a similar way for you. If you have not at this point downloaded the necessary components that you need in your computer to follow this video, then I recommend that you do that first. You can do that by going to my website, sheripearl.com, and you will find the slideshow both in PowerPoint and Keynote formats that will lead you through the necessary steps to configure your computer to do the following. So now, for those of you who are set and ready to go, we shall switch to looking at my computer screen so that you can visually see every step that I use to make this come about. Okay, everybody, we're ready to get started. Obviously, right now you're looking at my computer screen, and the first thing you will need to do is turn on your computer. Once your computer is on and ready to go, you're going to bring up your recording program, which, as you all know, we are using Audacity. So here it is. Here's what it looks like. The next thing I do is I bring up my sound source, which for this recording we will be using female vocal gibberish. Now, before I start recording, I think it is very wise to test the sound level that you are recording at, because you don't want to get a lot of distortion. So if you hit on the top bar here, you will see it's already showing you in green it's picking up on my own voice. Now, this is the recording volume, the volume at which you're recording. So, of course, if you're at 100%, you might get more distortion. So let's put on our sound source and see where the colors go. Okay, way too much in the red. And so what we would do is we would move this down. You're usually pretty safe around 87 to 90, but let's give that a try. No, a little bit too high, so bring it down a little bit more, and let's try again. I would say that looks good. If it touches the red slightly every now and then, that's okay. But you don't want to be in the red through your entire reading. Trust me, I've had that happen, and everything was very screechy. So now we have our sound input set to 71. You might play around with that depending upon the volume of your sound source and how that was recorded. At this point, we're ready to make our first recording. Here is your recording button. Here is your stop button. Those are the first two buttons you need to know about. So the first thing I do is put on my sound source, and then I will push record. Then I will ask a question, and then I will remain silent for approximately 10 to 15 seconds to allow Spirit a chance to respond. So let's give it a go. Hi, this is Sheri. I'm recording. Dan, it's Mom. Are you there? Hey, Danny, can you say something for all the people who are watching this video? And you would continue to go on in that manner until you had recorded, I would say, approximately 4 minutes for beginning starters. You don't want to overwhelm yourself too much. And now you have your recording. The very first thing I do after I make a recording is to save it, to be sure that I don't in any way erase anything I want. So the first thing you do in order to save a file is go to File and go to where it says Export Audio. Now your computer gives you the opportunity to write in the name of the audio. And for the purpose of this, I will call it Sheri for video. So let's type that in. And then take your arrow down and hit save. As you can see, the entire reading is being saved. Now, sometimes I need to go out and I don't have time to work on my recording. So sometimes I just close out of Audacity at that time by hitting on the little red X, which is where it is located on the Mac. I believe on the PC you will find it more in the upper right-hand corner. So I hit on my red X, and it will ask me if I wish to save the changes. I will say no because I have already saved the file, and saying yes involves a lot of steps that are unnecessary, so I hit no. Okay, I go out, I do what I need to do, I come back, I've got some time, and I want to listen to what I've recorded. So now I'm going to show you how to import a file into Audacity. So bring up Audacity and go up to File and go to Import and then slide over to Audio. You're importing an audio. And now you go into your search bar, and I'm going to type in Sheri for video. And here we are. And there it is. Now, sometimes when it re-imports it back in, it compresses everything very small. So I go over to this little icon here, which allows me to bring it back to the form I like to listen to it in. If you want to compress it really small, you go to the one to the right of that, and you can make it very tiny, but good luck trying to hear anything in that. So I bring it back to a level where I feel comfortable, which is usually like this. And sometimes you'll find an EVP prior to your even speaking. But I didn't hear anything right there, so I'll always go back and listen to how I started. Hey, Dan, this is Mom. How are you, sweetheart? And then from that point on, I start highlighting tiny sections to listen to a small section at a time. Now, highlighting is done. I think most of you know how to do it pretty similarly on both computers. I press on my little mouse on my computer with one finger, and with my other finger, I slide this bar over the area I wish to highlight. And now you've highlighted an area, and you can hit play and listen. And if I don't hear anything worth keeping, I go further a little more. And a little more. And I continue on in this way. Well, I think I hear something here. Danny always calls me the little one. And I thought I heard, here's little one. Yep. And so once I find something I would like to keep, I might want to raise the volume, in which case I go to Amplify. And you use this little slide bar to change your volume. Obviously, if you see that minus sign, you're going to you are decreasing the volume by 9.5 times. If you raise it up this way, I am increasing the volume by 9 point. Let's increase the volume by 5. As you see, it gets bigger, and you can hear.
There's a little one. There's a little one.
Here's little one. Okay, yes, Danny, I'm here. And at this point, I say, well, I want to save that clip because I think Danny was saying, here's little one. So to save a clip, you go to File and scroll down to where it says Export Selected Audio. And in this case, I would type in Sheri. I might put S and T for Sheri Test. You make up your own shorter rather than longer titles for these clips, or it gets very time consuming. So I would call that ST for Sheri Test. And then I'd put number 1, and I'd say, here's little one. And then I would hit save. Whoops. And in this way, I audit the entire recording. It is very time consuming. And I'm sure those of you who have been waiting for readings from me now see why it takes me so long to get them accomplished. So those are the first things you need to know: making a recording, saving a recording, importing a recording back into Audacity, highlighting small sections, listening to small sections at a time, and going through the same process that you would to save the entire audio by going to File and down to Export Audio, which you see is right here. And that is basically the run of the land. And one thing I do want to point out is how absolutely marvelous this edit button is because of this undo factor. I had amplified that clip, if you remember, and now I could undo the amplification. And why that's important is because sometimes you will make a mistake and erase something you didn't mean to erase. Don't panic. When you go to edit, it will say undo or redo. And in that way, you're able to undo anything that you are unhappy about. So it's a wonderful feature, get to know your edit button. Now, I cannot think of anything else that you need to know to get started using Audacity and saving your recording and making small clips to be saved. I want to make it very clear to all of you that this really is not rocket science, and you do not need to be nervous. All we are doing is playing sound from over here and recording that sound over here. The only thing that makes this a phenomenal phenomenon is that spirit comes forward and does something we have no idea how to do, and that is to change this into words that we can actually hear. And I'd like to give you a few examples so that you'll see what I'm talking about. This particular clip was made using this male gibberish in the English language. As you see, you can't make head or tails out of it. On the other hand, listen to this made with that gibberish.
Danny, can you say I love you, Mom?
Now that's pretty remarkable when you consider that the only background was this. Also very interesting is that our friends in spirit are able to change from one language to another. I was so very excited when my dear friend and the very gifted medium from Brazil, Sonia Rinaldi, sent me this gibberish of a little boy named Lorenzo speaking in Portuguese. Here's an example.
Na escola fala português, vamos descobrir sobre, depois você vai ser o professor para você.
Well, I don't know about you, but I cannot make head or tail out of that. So I asked Danny, for those of you who don't know me well, Danny's my son in spirit, I asked him if I used this Portuguese sound source, could he speak to me? Could I understand him? And I received this EVP.
I speak in English. I speak in English.
Now, little Lorenzo does not speak in English, but Daniel was able to convert this
Na escola fala português. Vamos descobrir sobre.
into this.
I speak in English.
And I think that's quite remarkable. So we all have a wonderful journey ahead of us with this work. It's a fantastic exploration. It's brought me great happiness, and I wish you all the best of luck. God bless.